In the cleaning and restoration world, some companies stand out not just for their technical expertise, but for the way they treat people during life's most stressful moments. When a home floods, a fire breaks out, pipes break, anything happens. Maybe some mold invades the basement. And there's a firm in Clarksville, Tennessee that's been doing this type of work for decades. This family-owned company has served residents across Tennessee and southern Kentucky, offering services ranging from carpet and upholstery cleaning to water damage restoration, fire and smoke, mold remediation, and more. So today we're going to talk about their journey, the philosophy behind their customer care, and what it takes to build trust in a community when people need help the most. So with me today is Tom Brennan, who's the, I have to say, founder, the inspiration behind Thomas Carpet Cleaning and Restoration. Tom, how's it going?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing good. Full transparency, we are recording this on a cruise ship where I met Tom and his lovely wife. We've had deep discussions about saving the world.
It's a work cruise for the IRS, by the way. Work cruise.
So we're on record. This is a tax deduction. Maybe I'll do the same.
Maybe so. Please talk to your accountant. This is not real legal advice.
You probably have some good legal advice to offer if you wanted to, or tax advice.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, if you hear martinis being shaken in the background or people making noise, maybe a buffet line, it's because that's what's happening on this cruise. So, Tom, let's get this out of the way right from the start. I've noticed that my southern accent isn't as good as yours.
Well, I've worked on it.
How did you develop this? What's your secret?
Well, in the South, they still remember the Mason-Dixon line, so it's good business. Little old ladies still like to be called ma'am. So parents moved from Michigan. I was actually born in Southfield, outside of Detroit, but I moved to Clarksville in 1976. So I've genuinely picked the accent up naturally just from being in the South.
You ever have to hone it, work at it to make it better? Or is it just there?
I don't know. It's pretty thick.
Love it. So, okay, got that out of the way. Now, does your wife have the same accent?
She says she doesn't, but if you listen to her, she sounds pretty Southern. All her friends from where she's from think she has an accent.
And what's her name?
Her name is Zanetta Brennan.
So if Zanetta walks by, we'll keep our eyes open. We'll have her come over and share some words, but I think she might be at the pool.
I don't know. It's raining. We'll see.
It is raining now on this cruise, but they say that if it rains now in 5 minutes, it'll be done. So we'll put her on the podcast if she shows up. So there's a lot of things, Tom, you could do in this world. You're a pretty smart guy. You could do anything. Why cleaning and restoration? What inspired you to get into this?
Well, when I was in high school, we had like that work release program. So
Sounds like prison.
It is, sort of. So in order to get out of high school, you had to have a job, and then it was Vica and Deca back in the day. And so in the late 80s, I worked for a company that was actually across the street. And I'd get out of school about 1, go work over there for, a few hours, and then on the weekends. And then in 94, the opportunity arose for me to purchase it from the guy that I had worked for. So I bought him out in 1994, and all my customers knew my first name, and I didn't want to lose those guys because that's what you bought was a book of business. And so I couldn't come up with a really good marketable name, so I just used my first name because no one knew what my last name was. So that's how it got its name and how I got my beginnings in the business.
So it's Thomas's carpet.
Absolutely not. Nothing's more aggravating than that extra S. THOMAS apostrophe. It's not apostrophe S.
Why didn't you call it Tom's?
Well,
you are Tom.
Well, I go by Thomas. So the further north you go, the more that you guys want to shorten our names. So it's normally
Don't make this personal.
It's only Thomas. My parents call me Tommy.
Can I call you Tommy?
You can.
Okay.
So, yeah.
For the record, Tom is bigger than me, so I probably won't do that.
Well, Tom's been on a buffet. He's bigger than a lot of people.
Good food for sure. Let's talk about how you help in stressful situations, thinking about floods, fires, you do mold work, you help people in their most trying moments. But you have a team. It's not just you out there. So how do you train your technicians? How do you make sure that they do what Tom would do?
Well, they are the backbone of the business. So I have a great crew. I've had some guys that have been with me 15, 16 years. I've got a young man that's been with me since he was 16 years old, and he's now 27. So we want to make sure that we are hiring the best people, but we also have to be good to the people that are building the business. So I think the key there is how you find them, how you nurture them. It's just to make sure that we're doing the best we can, but also we try to find good people. So, for instance, the young man I mentioned, his mother and I went to high school together. So, there's a good way of getting people from references, but they can not necessarily be work references. It could be somebody from your church or somewhere that you know. But the team, we train them. We're small enough that you still talk to the owner. So we want the people to know that this is someone's home. It's their largest investment. It's where they're raising their children. And we just got to make sure we treat every job as if it was your great-grandmother's house or your grandmother's house. Not just your house, because I've seen some sloppy houses in my day, but we want to make sure that it's treated at a little higher regard than we would even treat our own.
Very good. Now, you're a locally owned company. As you walk down Main Street, Clarksville, do people know who you are?
I would say that most of them do. I've been there a long time. Our business is located in downtown Clarksville. I'm a fairly vocal guy. We go to a lot of the ball games, and of course, everybody interacts on Facebook now. So I would say so. We eat downtown. My wife doesn't cook. Get that on the record.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she's not here.
Will she listen to this podcast?
She probably will, but I won't be right next to her. I'll be out of swinging
range. So we're going to leave this in. All right.
So, but she doesn't cook. She can cook, but we go out to eat often because our business is downtown. So we do try to support our downtown community. My wife and I are out, I'd say, about once a day eating somewhere.
So do you tip well?
I'm a great tipper.
Because they know you and your business.
Well,
and you're a good person.
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay.
You want to be a good tipper. We've had a little lady there's a business in town called Black Horse Pizza. When you come to town, best beer cheese in the world. Jeff Robinson, you can pay me for that one. But this little girl come up to us and thanked us because we helped her make her Christmas. So you want to give. It's what it's for. We've been very fortunate and very blessed. So yes, I guess we are good tippers.
One thing that I think everyone who's a seasoned veteran has noticed are the younger generation of business owners coming in. What is your superpower when it comes to dealing with that 23-year-old tech savvy who doesn't know a thing about restoration, but he starts a company type of challenge?
Well,
because you've told me off the record here, not sure how that works because we're talking on. You've told me that you're not as internet savvy as others.
Well, I'm not. So back in the day of the yellow pages, when you had to buy the biggest ad in the phone book, that was one of the ways. But it was mostly word of mouth, and everybody my age will still say it. It's word of mouth. Well, it isn't. You really need to learn how to win the internet, and these guys can make themselves look a lot better than they are. There's tons of hacks with internet skills. So those are the guys, not all of them, of course, but those are the guys that you've got to be mindful of if you're a consumer. But if they have a nice web design and, their blogs are coming in and they look really well, then it's hard to differentiate yourself to especially new clients. So we still do old stuff. I mean, we still do postcard mailings. We still do a lot of things the old ways. But
I think some of those old ways are coming back a bit.
Well, everybody likes a thank you card. Mm-hmm. So we still do thank you cards. If you hire our company, we will send you a thank you card for letting us into your home and giving us the opportunity to earn your business.
Okay, very good. So how do you feel when a person in need succumbs to the pressure or enticement of the internet, they hire that company that you just know they're not going to get the treatment that they need or deserve. Does it bother you?
Well, of course, because it makes the whole industry look bad. Yourself and a lot of people on this cruise, as I have kind of nicknamed them, some of the titans of the industry. The whole purpose was trying to educate the carpet and cleaning, restoration, water damage, fire, mold industry, and try to make that a little more of a cohesive professional unit. So groups like the ICRC, when they came along, to try to give a standard to what we do, to try to make sure that there is a consistent level of professionalism to what we do. Does that happen all the time? Of course it doesn't. But it doesn't happen in every other business either. You know, the term shade tree mechanic came about because some mechanics are not as good as others. So, you know, it hurts you because you surely don't want to see little old lady get taken advantage of. But we do fix other people's messes.
And we're not saying that every young generation person is not doing a good job. We're just generalizing here because when you have the opportunity to face-to-face network with an adjuster, you probably do pretty good, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. If given the opportunity to speak with somebody and talk with them and listen to their concerns and try to help them, I really feel like we at Thomas's do a great job. You know, my managers do well, and everybody compliments us on how, you know, sweet and caring our office manager is, or how nice our guys were that we sent out to take a look at the home. And not all adjusters are bad. In our industry, I think we automatically brand them the bad guy, and it's not always the case. Now, some of them are unscrupulous, but not all.
But the ones you work with are good adjusters. Maybe they'll listen to this.
We have a great group of adjusters that I would almost call friends, not necessarily
That's
colleagues. Good. And then there's some asses out there, Jeff. I don't know what else to say about it. They don't care. They're going to hatchet the check, or they're going to try to drop a check off to Mrs. Smith. We did a job for, can I mention company names? No?
No, let's not do that.
Okay, so I did a company.
Brand X.
Brand A at different variable. And they wrote a $16,000 check to this lady who had $80,000 worth of damage. Had that little old lady not gotten a hold of somebody that was competent enough to talk to the insurance adjuster for them, or the insurance company, she probably would have not been able to repair her home, or at least not repair it to the standard of it before the loss.
Scary thought.
Happens every day.
So what would you tell Mrs. Smith right now as she's looking? Because the adjuster's going to talk to her, write that check.
Close
what can
the file.
she do to protect herself?
So I would hope she would ask around, because I like word of mouth. But if you were going to get on the internet and look around, I would maybe call and invite those people to come out to your home and listen to your concerns. Interview the people that you're going to have fix your largest investment.
I've been on your website thinking about today's discussion. You do carpet cleaning, hard floor care, I don't know, water damage, fire, smoke, mold.
If there's a mess, we'll fix it.
Why so diverse?
Well, we started as a carpet cleaning company. It's kind of instant gratification. You take a really dirty rug or really dirty carpet and you make it clean and shiny and everybody's happy. And I can do all that in 2 hours. Same gratification rebuilding your house, but it takes weeks. So the cleaning business, you know, is how we got started. And then, of course, you're sucking up water is part of the cleaning process. So then Mrs. Jones, who went swish, swish, swish to the bathroom at 3 in the morning, gives us a call and says, "Hey, I know you've got that machine that sucks up water. Can you come out here and help me?" And so that's how it went from cleaning to restoration. And then, of course, cleaning has a lot of different branches to it.
So restoration is also cleaning.
Absolutely. Should be.
Yeah.
So, you know, especially if you've got a dirty water event. I don't get into classes. I don't know who all listens to this, but if you've got a dishwasher overflow or a sewer backup, then you definitely would want to make sure that you're cleaning for health and not just appearance.
So would that be a category 3?
If it's sewer,
That's nasty stuff.
it is. Yeah,
And I'm going to hire the cheapest company to come clean it.
I wouldn't. And that's. I mean, not to get into some industry things, but those guys will take some air movers or fans and then blow it across the floor that just dried out, and bits of toilet paper flying around. I mean, you really want to get it clean before you even start drying it.
Clean air is important too.
Absolutely.
Blowing that around wouldn't be good. Can you think of a time when someone felt you saved their life?
Their life? I don't know.
You know what I mean. They were in a bad spot, and you guys came along and you saved them, and they just gave you a hug.
Mostly on like fire jobs or whatnot, when there's memories to be saved. So
Contents.
Yeah, so we saved a lady's. I think maybe it was a Mother's Day present, but it was signed by all the family. So we took our time to try to get the soot off of it without messing up the canvas. We've got another fire damaged customer. We saved some grandmother's quilts and whatnot, and that lady brings us fudge every Christmas. So
Score 1.
Yeah, and I mean we did that job in like '09. I got fudge this year too, 2 kinds, peanut butter and chocolate.
So what if the fudge doesn't show up one Christmas? You gonna go knock on her door and ask her where's the fudge?
No, but I probably would call and check on her just to make sure nothing bad happened. It's been pretty steady.
It's pretty steady, is right. Yeah. So besides the caring aspect, the taking care of your customers, doing what's right by them, you have to do the technical expertise angle as well. How do you keep up with the industry that's always changing? What's your strategy there?
Well, I mean, events like this where there's education, we try to do continuing education courses, whether online or in person. We read. If I don't know something, I'll pull out the telephone and start trying to educate myself a little better. I've asked questions. There's a lot of people smarter than I, so I'll be more than happy to pick your brain or all the rest of you titans of the industry. You've got to try to stay ahead of the curve, and one of the ways you can do that is by educating yourself and
your team.
And your team, absolutely.
So, thinking of all that we've shared here, have you ever, in your journey in business, doubted yourself?
No.
Okay.
I don't mean it to sound terrible, but I've worked hard. I was the guy. I was answering the phone and cleaning the carpet and washing the truck, and from there it was able to grow. But I've got good faith. I believe there's a higher power that has definitely got her hand on our business and has blessed us. I've got a great team. Of course, they were built, but that takes hard work, and those guys have put that time in also.
Last question, wrapping it up. When you one day step away from the industry, what do you want people to say about you, Tom Brennan?
Always tried to do the right thing. I don't want anybody to ever think I tried to get one over on them. I was always fair. I always did my best to do the right thing, to help them. And, hopefully they don't call me any bad words.
They won't. Tom, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.